All right, so today we're going to dive into, of course, the metaverse and gaming, as we do often on this show. Today, though, we're going to talk to a studio operator that really is kind of, one, developing in a lot of different angles and fronts, and also designed into some of what I think are kind of some unique aspects from the game side itself. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to TechPath. Today, joining me is Dante Scott from Onessus. Onessus. An
Onessus.
interesting name, Onessus, an interesting name. We
Mhm,
were trying to figure that out in the studio, Dante, and it was. And then thank you for explaining kind of the meaning of it, because that was unique in itself. I always like to see these names in the
mhm,
sense of, especially in the gaming side. There's just so many cool marketing aspects to this. Anyway, Dante, hey,
mhm.
welcome to the show. Thanks for stopping in today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Paul. I'm super excited to be on the show, and yeah, thanks for the intro. We have a lot of cool things to talk about today.
Yes, absolutely. All right, explain to us a little about the studio, your backstory. You and your dad kind of launched this a few years back. What was kind of the genesis of how you guys got going there with the studio, and what's the mission for it?
hmm so originally we just started off as, cryptocurrency investors and people interested in the space, like a lot of us. And we didn't really see the full potential until, around the 2016, 2017 bull market. We saw all these various projects coming out, and that just you know, sparked some inspiration in our minds because we saw all the different potentials for what could be achieved with blockchain technology, and we also saw a lot of companies weren't really pushing to innovate. They were just
Hmm.
sort of recreating old things that already existed, and we saw so many opportunities to innovate in the space, and that's sort of what got us started on the journey. And yeah, our focus ended up leading to the blockchain gaming realm, just due to my background in trading digital game assets and various games such as RuneScape or
Hmm.
Diablo or Rocket League, and just experiencing that prior to NFTs and whatnot. When we sort of were introduced to the concept of NFTs, that really got us going, and we saw so much potential, and from there we just yeah, got started building Onessus.
So I like the first of all, if father son teams, I feel like those always do really well, at least in a lot of different businesses out there. In
Mhm,
2018, Play to Earn was just really getting off the ground. There was just very few projects that were really one understood in terms of what Play to Earn could and would be eventually. Were you
mhm.
already moving in that direction? Did you feel like Play to Earn was just in its nascent period? You were able to identify it as an early trend and go ahead and start the process? Was that kind of the trek for you?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So I would say Crypto Kitties would be the project that kind
Hmm.
of sparked it within our minds. Still definitely love that project. It's an OG project that sort of, showed the utility and sort of what's possible. And yeah, seeing the other tools that game developers have, such as
Right.
what we use would be Unreal Engine,
Hmm.
and combining the two worlds of the metaverse, NFTs, as well as Unreal Engine is just like sort of a match made in heaven, and we wanted to pursue that, and we eventually did with our first game that launched, HodlGod. We were the first blockchain game to publicly launch a fully functional play to earn game using the
Right.
Unreal Engine.
Well, I think, obviously it's the most popular, game on Wax, which is
Mhm,
in itself is a pretty big statement, because I think a lot of people don't really understand the ecosystems out there. Many people, they kind of get flooded with the press releases of things like Axie and Sandbox and,
mhm,
the typical titans that have kind of moved out there. When you look at, because
mhm,
the gaming sector right now, we cover it a lot here on the show, and we've continued to see kind of these upstarts that are starting to really make waves in the community. You guys, though, have been doing this a lot longer than many of these play to earn, and also just in general blockchain gaming companies that have been coming to market. I would say that we probably get approached by 25 different game companies per week coming in. And I
Mhm.
know that's not all. I mean, that can't be. So you've got to see this massive growth. What are your thoughts on how do you stand out in the crowd when you're in the process of building product like you guys are at the studio?
Mhm. So I would say, the way that we like to stand out would be, um, you know, really focusing on building great products themselves. I guess a common theme that we do see in the crypto space is a lot of companies dumping tons of money into marketing,
Yeah.
and a lot less into the actual product itself. Whereas, our philosophy as a company is, of course, marketing is important, but we're even significantly more focused on, building great products that are really meaningful, really push the boundaries and create some impact from an innovation standpoint that can move the space forward and also, provide a great experience for people and showcasing what's possible with play to earn and blockchain technologies in this
Yeah,
space.
I think that's a good approach to take because you're going to start to see a shakeout soon, and I think it will happen in 2022, where
Mhm.
the real well-made games are starting to rise to to the top. It's kind of what happened in AAA gaming. The really great games always rose to the top, and eventually the communities, coalesced around them. That kind of scenario. You guys have some
Mhm.
new stuff happening in HodlGod around your play to earn changes. A little bit on how are you guys restructuring, or what are you doing in terms of implementing new changes in reference to play to earn and how those values will translate to players? What's going on there?
Mhm. Right. So just to, give a little context for the viewers as to what HodlGod is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's essentially an Unreal Engine built battle royale game with a fantasy style theme. So if you can imagine, Skyrim meets Fortnite, that's essentially what we're building here. And yeah, we originally released the project around March and have been building and improving upon it since then. And yeah, so recently we've released a couple of new maps to go with the game. We've expanded, some of our functionalities in game, and of course, we have NFTs and play to earn integrated. But the way that it works currently is, you start up a game as you're running around, as opposed to something like Fortnite, where you'd be traditionally finding, weapons and power ups. Within HodlGod, you're actually finding NFTs and crypto drops spread around the map. And so you just essentially pick these up, and all you have to do is win the game and become the last player on the battlefield to have those rewards automatically airdrop to your wallet. So up until this point, we've had a fairly limited play to earn yield as far as that goes, but we are bringing an update very soon which will allow you to essentially take your NFTs and stack them, meaning that right now, if you pick up a certain NFT in game, if you pick up that drop, it rewards one NFT because you can only equip, one gear at a time, which is the NFT that we require to pick up these drops. But with this coming update, you'll actually be able to stack your NFTs, which will be, a huge incentive to the current NFT holders that do have a lot of NFTs in their inventory, and will also be, a big incentive to other people to come in and play the game, even if they're not, a warrior on the battlefield themselves. There's a huge incentive to pick up some of our NFTs due to our leasing system. So you can actually lend out your NFTs. If you know people who are very talented on the battlefield, you can sponsor them. You can create your own team, and really experience the game that we've created from multiple angles. So it's definitely an experience for more than just the players. And yeah, we think this next play to earn update, when we really scale up the rewards within the project, will really showcase that.
Yeah, what we had some of the game footage there on screen, and pretty impressive. I think when you look at just in general the scenario that we've seen with just the growth from building a studio like this, growing like you guys are, multiple projects. You've got some other projects that are outside the gaming side of it, and I want to jump into those. What's it
Mhm.
like from a developer side? Because what we've seen, most game companies have been developing in Asia, the Eastern Bloc countries, a lot of game development happening in those markets. Not a
Mhm.
tremendous amount here in the US. What's the approach you guys are taking in terms of developers and, kind of building your community because or your team and your roster there?
Mhm. Right. So we're definitely, taking a very remote approach,
Hmm.
finding various talent from across the globe. There's so many great developers that are talented when it comes to the traditional game world. They just haven't been yet introduced to the play to earn blockchain gaming space. And so it's been a very cool experience to take the talent from this world and bring them into the metaverse, and kind of show them how things operate here, and take their knowledge and give some of our knowledge, and really see not only our team and product line grow, but also the minds of our team that come from a different background, sort of being opened up to this space, has been cool as well.
Yeah, I like that especially when you think about Web 2 and kind of the generation of what AAA and just in general gaming has been in the past. This play to earn component, and especially staking, if you just think about how staking has kind of revolutionized what's happening, from an investment standpoint inside, digital assets, NFTs, et cetera.
Mhm.
I think that really opens up a lot of people's eyes to really where this could go. Why do you think staking went off so well for what you guys were doing and just became such a popular element within the game?
So I think staking is important for people to get involved because NFTs independently, a lot of times aren't very liquid at a high level
Right.
for people to, move money in and out of. I think staking, adds a high level of liquidity to projects such as ours, and really, you know, incentivizes people to want to hold those NFTs and be a part of the ecosystem. And also on top of that, of course, it incentivizes people to hold the tokens for longer, and support the community more, because as we all know, uh, people love being a part of a project who really does their best to give value back to the community. As we've seen, there's a lot of projects that are, sort of pump and dumps and
Hmm.
whatnot, but we try to listen to the community as much as possible, and whatever they ask for, we do our best to integrate. Of course, everything doesn't happen overnight, but our track record definitely shows that we are listening to the community. We're not only listening, but we're actually experiencing our products. I love playing HodlGod. I can't wait to play Niftyville and our other, you know, everything that we do. I personally am a user of, so I come from that angle as well, which definitely helps us improve upon the products, and create something that not only we love to play and to be a part of as a team, but that hopefully our community can enjoy as well.
Yeah. I was looking at one of the posts you guys had on your blog on the update, forge your badges up to a new Centurion bounty contract. And I like
Mhm.
I mean, you guys have some great art, some great art here. So your team is fantastic on this stuff.
Thank you.
Explain what you guys are doing on these bounty contracts, how this kind of plays into the overall game itself.
Yeah, so our idea here is we wanted to bring a meaningful progression system to HodlGod, and also integrate NFTs and staking and lending, of course, within this process. So our idea here is, as you're playing the game, you're, earning these play to earn badges, warrior badges, stream to earn badges. And the cool thing is you can actually take these badge NFTs, forge them together and upgrade them into, higher level NFTs. And the benefit to having these NFTs is, one, you can show them off on the battlefield. So all of the badges we have are actually equipable NFTs in game. So if you run into a certain player that has a certain tier of these badges, you already know they're going to
Right.
be a respectable opponent. And so on top of that, there's increased staking values with these higher level badges,
Hmm.
and additionally play to earn rewards. So once you get to the higher tiers of badges, you'll actually receive bonus pickups whenever you earn within HodlGod, that gives you a bonus in Void, our cryptocurrency, as a yield for owning and equipping these badges. But the ultimate goal with this system for every player is to, you know, ultimately make it to the Centurion bounty contract, which is the highest tier. And essentially, this is just, like a really badass piece of gear that you can use in game, that not only is extremely sought after. Right now only a few people that you can count on one hand can even get one of these at the moment, because they're so valuable, and take a lot to grind up to. So it has that element to it of just being legendary, but on the other hand has a play to earn and yield
Right.
bonus and a staking bonus that's essentially gives it that status within our community. If you see someone with one of those bounty contracts wearing it in game, that gear is definitely something to experience.
Yeah, it's like wearing your Versace jacket out. Everybody knows
Exactly.
that's a baller right there. He's coming with all of his gear. I like
You
that.
got it.
When you think about this, Dante, and I look at this especially around gaming, and mainly because of the evolution that we've seen in the blockchain side of it, the connectivity to whether it's tokens or it's in-game NFT and digital asset acquisition, all those kind of things that really are changing kind of the dynamic of how investments are being played out. And one thing that I find, at least in the gaming side of things, and with many of the people I talk with within the investment community, they look at it a couple of ways. They say, hey, let's invest in the studio. If they have a token, let's maybe go into that ecosystem. If it's a scenario where they're doing digital assets, maybe we build a guild that comes around and goes that route in terms of trying to drive value out of it. Do you feel like the complexity for blockchain needs to be lowered for mass market and mainstream to be able to jump into it, like what we've seen with AAA gaming over the past, say, 10 years in terms of adoption? What are your thoughts on
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, 100%. So I definitely think that the complexity needs to be lowered. Simplicity is key, with any product in general to reach a mainstream audience. So I do think that as the space as a whole develops, we are moving closer to that. There's lots of tools being created to
Hmm.
simplify these things, and I don't think we're there quite yet, but I do think we are very close. And I think any project that lets users get started without getting into the crypto realm is a great start. Um, but on the other hand of things, I do think there is a niche within the mainstream who
Yeah.
also does like to dive into complex things. And a good example would be like, games such as like World of Warcraft or RuneScape. These sort of MMOs have definitely went mainstream, but looking at the mechanics, they go pretty deep and get pretty
Right.
complex. So I do think there's a niche for that as well. But then on the other hand, of course, there's games like Rocket League, Fortnite,
Mhm.
and whatnot who that are, very simple to hop in and understand. So I do think that we do need projects like that as
Yeah.
well in that sort of onboarding within the space.
Well, especially if we're going to see kind of the evolution of blockchain, especially play to earn, in whether it's in emerging countries who are using this as basically an economic stimulus for their own economies in some of those markets where there may not be as many jobs, all those kind of things that play to earn could open up. I mean, Axion and some others have been able to really kind of show light on that as a really good opportunity, I think, for many people as we see kind of the explosion of what gaming is going to do in the future. I want to stay on HodlGod here. I
Hmm.
want to jump over to your Immortal Gear Series 2. And I know we're going in deep
Hmm.
on these for our viewers, but mainly when we do game analysis, we really want to understand how to get in and one, get in these, and is it something that we can go in and earn money and or investments, whether it's NFTs, digital assets, etc. Explain the Immortal Gear side of things. What are you guys trying to do
Hmm.
with this?
Gotcha. So our Immortal Gear is of course, the wearable NFTs within the game. So, the goal with this drop is we wanted to, bring some insane looking new cosmetics to the game,
Hmm.
but also bring some very high yield into the game as well and introduce that with our upcoming Play to Earn update. So the main value proposition with this Immortal Gear Series 2 drop is the yield that we have attached.
Hmm.
So we've purposefully created these sets to have very high staking values within the system. So that would be the main value proposition, and on top of that, as an added bonus, you can collect these shards within the packs and combine those shards together in order to create the immortal gear, which you can then use within the game and get much higher play to earn bonuses. We've purposefully made these gear sets have higher bonuses than any other NFTs within the HodlGod ecosystem currently. And then on top of that, of course, we have our lending system integrated. So, if you get some of these gear sets and you don't, per se want to use them yourself, or you just coming on board as, a guild or an investor, or you just want to start your own community, you can definitely, create a scholarship program. You can sell leases. You can rent your gears out to other people, or if you're just a combatant and you want to get out on the battlefield and earn for yourself, that's totally an option as well.
I like it. It seems like it's a very vetted game in the sense of just the structure of it, the ability for the economy within the game to kind of flourish. Pretty cool. Now, you guys have some other
Mhm.
projects, Niftyville coming out soon, and you have a land sale coming up soon as well on Niftyville.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
I wanted to show Niftyville to kind of our audience here, just as a little bit. Explain the project for someone that's new, and kind of give me a understanding of what you're trying to do here with the Niftyville.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. So, Niftyville is a project that we've been working on since February of this year. We put quite a bit of work into it so far, and we're getting ready to launch the public pre-alpha soon. But the concept behind this game is we wanted to, create the first GTA style game on the blockchain.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, that's it in a nutshell. You can own various types of NFTs within the game. You can own property NFTs, so various real estate. You can own houses, apartments, penthouses, and additionally, one of the exciting parts of the game is the business element. So not only are you able to purchase residential NFTs, but there are also business NFTs integrated into the game. And the idea here is we wanted to sort of simulate the real world economy. And what inspired us to do that would be GTA RP for anyone who's not familiar. Grand Theft Auto is a game based on the real world in some ways, and
Right.
they have a very cool economic structure, with the only thing being that their economy isn't tied to the blockchain, and that's what inspired us to create Niftyville. So essentially, what you can do within Niftyville is you can own these business properties that actually give you yield based on the type of business that you own. With utility NFTs that can actually be used. So, one example I like to use is the car dealership business. So, one of the many business types you can own within Niftyville. If you own a car dealership, essentially you'll receive a passive yield of vehicle NFTs airdrop to
Mm,
your wallet
okay.
automatically, just for owning that property. So, we have, of course, various NFT types within the game that tie to other businesses and properties. There's skin NFTs, weapon NFTs, and of course, vehicle NFTs, as I mentioned, on top of, various resource NFTs that play within the economy and crafting system as well. So, you can own a variety of different types of businesses. Car dealership just being one. You could also own, a clothing store, or, a restaurant within a shopping mall. Um, and there's a variety here, weapon stores. We also do
Right.
have skyscrapers within the main city of Niftyville. And by owning one of these, one of the value propositions of real estate within Niftyville is we want to allow the owners to be able to hire contractors to customize their property and make it their own. So for example, you could sign your own brand deals and marketing deals with, by owning a property. A skyscraper would be a good example. You could post up a big banner for a company, or your favorite crypto punk, or whatnot is definitely something that's totally available. Of course, the only limitation is it has to be within the terms of service of Niftyville to upgrade your property in a certain fashion. But that customization is there. If you want to keep your property the way it is, that's totally fine. But if you want to upgrade it, if you want it to look like a real life property, maybe your house in real life, that's totally an option as well. So a lot of exciting things there. And we have our second upcoming real estate auction
Hmm.
with properties on Genesis Avenue, which is going to be, of course, the Genesis Street of Niftyville. There are only 750 properties in the world of Niftyville. The world is 12 kilometers squared, so a pretty big size open world, which is fully crafted. You'll be able to explore it 100% when we release here in a few weeks. Um, but yeah, so we have our Genesis Avenue sale second auction coming up, and yeah, very exciting. Definitely something that you'd want to look into.
Yeah. What was okay? So you guys, of course, have worked with Wax for the economy side of it, from a blockchain side for what you're doing with HodlGod. But on Niftyville, you went the route of Ethereum. Why
Mhm.
switch chains on this? Why not stay? What was the plan there?
Mm. Right, right. So, we definitely love Wax. They have an amazing ecosystem, a very fast blockchain, currently processing the most transactions of any blockchain on a daily basis right now.
Right.
But there also is something that's just magical about Ethereum, owning various profile picture NFTs or other NFTs on Ethereum just have, this magical aura about them. And
Mm.
we really wanted to dive into that and be a part of it as well. And of course, Ethereum's just easier to get into for a lot of
Yeah.
people, and just more readily available. So we wanted to, base Niftyville on Ethereum, But for the utility aspects of it, we want to connect to, layer twos as well as the Wax blockchain to really make this utility, very feasible from a high level. If we have a commercially scaled game with millions of players, Ethereum would be absolutely destroyed by that. So,
Right,
we
right.
definitely have a long-term plan to make the economy of Niftyville very sustainable while still leveraging the Ethereum blockchain for its strengths.
And I'm kind of curious, any plan to do maybe a ZK rollup kind of approach to that to avoid some of the issues with gas fees and maybe the long-term development plan that Ethereum has with E 2.0?
hmm so currently we have a bridge in the works that'll, connect Ethereum directly to Wax for some
Mm,
certain utilities. We are having some discussions with, layer twos such as Polygon,
right.
and, BSC. But nothing's set in stone there as far as where the utility will be within Niftyville quite yet. But we are exploring some options in regards to that.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, Dante, I think this has been a good interview. I think just in learning one how a team has been able to kind of evolve and really kind of move into a variety of different projects. You guys are doing some great work there, and it seems to be one of those things that's a passion project at the same time, which those are always the best ones. It feels like.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so much fun to be in this space. Like I personally couldn't imagine doing anything else. It's really just so much more than the money. A lot of companies are really hard focused on money, but I'm
yeah,
really inspired, and our team's really inspired by just seeing the vision that we laid out from the beginning when we had nothing, just manifesting into what it is today. So it's a
very
very
cool.
cool process to be a part of, and exciting to be in this space right now.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, listen, thanks for stopping in on the show today. We're definitely going to be on the watch for Niftyville. We're going to be looking at how you guys transition on HodlGod. I like all the new stuff coming in. It's going to be interesting to see how you guys scale up with the player community and all that good stuff. But thanks again for stopping in.
hmm Sweet. Thanks so much, Paul. I appreciate you, and yeah, I'm looking forward to everything in the future.
Very cool. All right, you guys are tuned in over on the podcast right now. Thanks again. We appreciate all your love over there. The best thing, though, is to jump over here to the YouTube channel because this is where you're going to get a chance to dive into our analysis, a lot of this great art, especially the visualizations in the game, interviews and projects that we review here. Those are the ones you don't want to miss because it really kind of helps you understand what's happening in blockchain gaming and why it's so important in the cryptocurrency space because it has such a potential opportunity for growth. So just jump in over here on the YouTube channel. It's easy to join. Find us. Just search Paul Barron Network. You'll get us up there. Of course, if you have an idea for the show, hit me up on Twitter. It's just @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.